Hey guys, welcome back to another video. On this channel, I got caught up with couple of stuff. Lately I've been doing quite a lot of shoots, and one of the projects I want to share with you guys that I recently did with the 85mm f1.4. And as you already saw the video in the start, it was a small cinematic project that I was doing it for myself, and this was all, by the way, done by myself. Shooting reels or shooting cinematic videos for yourself can be pretty challenging because you have to take care of a lot of things. You have to take care of the framing, you have to take care of the focus by yourself, and act at the same time in the video can be pretty challenging. But this was a fun project that I did for myself, and I kind of learned a lot because I used my tripod to completely shoot this montage that you just saw. And let me take you on that journey. I have few behind the scenes that I've shot in acting in between that, and then I'm going to take you to a little process of how I color graded that video and made it look what it looked right now. So without any further ado, let's get to the scene. For this project, we actually got a beautiful Ducati scrambler. I think it was a scrambler or something. But after this shoot, I was so stoked on buying a bike for myself because I technically miss my bike and the days when I used to ride a lot back in India. But yeah, I did have I did enjoy the experience with riding that bike. And the concept here was, since we both loved biking, and we have a thing that we want to do a trip to some mountain region soon in the future, and hence the idea of the bike came into the picture. So we went to this amazing location called Half Desert, wherein you get that desert as well as the road in between, and it is a perfect spot where a lot of people generally do shoots with cars and bikes. So why not we called for a bike over here, and that's where we got the bike. And it was a little, it gets a little hard to actually cross towards the other place, to get to the location, because there are sand dunes and getting formed up on the road itself. But all in all, we reached to our location, and we were just parking our car and we were setting up the scene. And as you can see, since I was using the 85mm on the Sony 8-6400, this lens actually turns to approximately 135mm. So I literally had to stand far back and try to frame, at the same time keeping the rules in mind, the rule of thirds, and even following the leading lines. Here we're not following the leading lines, but we are actually using the lines to layer up our shot. If you can see, it was little difficult to direct the model with us. She should look better in the frame as what she wanted. So but yeah, all in all, it all went well. And while going through, I did get a scratch because of the retakes, and it was pretty, and the weather was decent. It was hot. We actually left early in the morning just to save ourselves from the heat, but around 10ish 11 o'clock, the sun hit the sky and it was getting pretty hot, and we had to wrap up things pretty fast. And while moving between the shots, I had to go around, run from camera and to my position. I did use help of couple of my friends. Also, the person who got the bike for us, he did help us a lot, and he was kind of enjoying, as you can see right now in the next video.
जब वो ऐसा एक्टिंग करता था, पता नहीं चला क्या है, like this, ऐसे चल रहा है.
So we are done shooting.
Let loose, ना, like you're.
Let loose.
Yeah, let loose.
Let loose. Alright, so coming back to my studio, this is where the magic will happen and this video will come to life. wherein I'm gonna be editing this video now. And if you haven't seen my editing process, you can check out another video how I edit my shots and how I color grade them as well. After spending a lot of hours into clipping out the right moment to color grade my videos or edit my videos, I use DaVinci Resolve, which is an amazing software. This is a free version that I'm using, but there is a paid version as well in which you will get more features which comes to AI and a couple other stuff. So I'm gonna be upgrading myself soon, so sit tight, and I'll share my reviews of the paid version. But here we're talking about color grading. This video of what you saw, this footage, all the footage was shot in S-Log 3, all log footage, and then now coloring. Now here's the magic that happens. This I use Dehancer plugin to color grade all my videos. Like, this is not a promotional video by Dehancer, but yes, I've been using it, and this has made my life easy. I can color grade any video under 10 minutes, literally under 10 minutes, without creating any tree, the node tree. And this is the simplest way you can do and the most easiest way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one node, extra node, wherein I will probably either use it I'll add one node to it over here, which I've already done, and I'm going to label it as Dehancer, and this one I'm going to label it as exposure. Okay, so here what we're going to do is we can work out with our exposures over here. You can always use there's a set rule when you're working with Dehancer that you have to change the color space that you're working in, which I've already talked about in a previous video here. But what I like to do is I like to go directly into the S-Log profile, because this Dehancer plugin allows me to do so. Now when I apply to it, there's gonna be like a default color grade that will come to, because the source is not correct, put properly. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into my source now, and the best part is I can choose my camera settings over here. So I have a Sony, I shot it on A6400 in the S-Log 3. Now it'll give me like a very basic look with whatever the film look that has been already applied by default. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to press option and collapse all these items and go down. Two things you want to do first: go down, go into the film train section, disable it, and go into the monitor section, enable clipping. Now what clipping does is, anything whenever you're upgrading using this tool and you accidentally happen to go overboard with any of the settings wherein you are kind of destroying the details, or let me show you as an example. So if I go like this, so if I now I've reduced the exposure to the minimum, you can see this blue color coming up over here. That's clipping. So what it shows is that I've lost all the details in this section, which of course it's important while you're color grading, so you don't want to lose any detail in your picture. Now I'm gonna go back again. I'm gonna just reduce the exposure a little bit. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go down in the film section, and this Dehancer plugin gives you like more than 70 profiles or the film looks you can work out from. The most commonly used are the Kodak Visions 250D or the 50D. The D stands for the day, and the T over here, 500T, stands for tungsten, which is generally used in the nighttime or indoor shots. But I like to explore and work my way through with different film looks over here. So I'm going to choose 500T. It's totally up to you guys. It's your creative vision that you guys are looking out for, and there is no hard and fast rule. Even if anyone says follow your own creative process, and I'm sure you will learn through it and get your own style that you're looking out for in the film. But yeah, you can always experiment. Then I will select this. I'm not going to change any EV compensation out over here. It's going to keep as is. Then I'm going to do the film developer. This will give me more flexibility to change my contrast, the gamma correction, the color separation. Once I enable this, I can change my contrast a little bit over here. Yes, I'm gonna see what my gamma correction does. So you can always fiddle with your sliders, choose, take them here and there, and most likely that's about it. And yeah, so then the color separation is fine. I'm gonna boost the color a little bit because it's desert and I'm going for a little warmer look out here. Then film we have already done. The film compression, what it does is the film it controls the compression that the film profile, the film look that you applied onto the original resolution of the film. And here you can control how much it's gonna impact or how much it's gonna do, because it kind of reduces the sharpness over here. So that's what film compression does. I can check for my white points and how things are working, and I'm going to reduce over here, see my tonal range, and work my way through it. So that's more like it. Going into the expand, here you can work on your black points and white points. It's already enabled, so I'm going to look out for here. The white ones, kind of, yes, I want a little bright color out over here. That's perfect. Going into the print is basically something when you're trying to print it on the actual disk. So here I like to use the 2838. This is too much. I'm gonna reduce the EV. So see, if you saw here the blue, that means I've kept out my shadows. So what I'm not gonna go too much. That's it. That's where I'm gonna keep. I can see how much contrast I want. No, that's too contrasting and I'm losing out the detail. So I'll probably keep it over here. Color density, I'm gonna work over here. That's perfect. So I've almost got my look. Into the color head, so here you can change your yellows and the blues. You can either use them as gang all together or you can use them individually. That's all up to you. So I want my yellows first. I'm gonna enable, yes. So I want my yellows to come into the thing. Let me reset for you guys. Yeah, perfect. So I want a little bit yellows in my shot and kind of a little green. And I'm gonna go into the red side of it because I'm going for a warmer look. So yeah, here you can also work on your shadow tones, see how much shadows, what kind of tone you want. I'm gonna keep it here, but since I don't have any shadows because of the direct sunlight, and then work around my mid tones. No, this is too much. I can probably keep it here. Highlights, no, that's too much again. So I'm gonna keep it somewhere here. That's perfect. Preserve exposure, that's gonna preserve anything happening. Film grain, I'm not gonna touch right now. Halation, I'm gonna expand and work my go down to the 65mm, which is kind of a very subtle look that it will give. Otherwise, if you go into 65, it will not literally show, but it's a very minute one. So I like to go with the 65s and then work my way through. Bloom effect, now what this bloom effect does is it gives that dreamy look to your feel. Here we're not going to work too much into the part, so I'm going to leave it as 35mm. You can always go and check how much 8 is too much, and then as you move up it's gonna reduce down to the slightest of the slightest. Film damage, now what film damage is, if you have seen those film when there is a little scratch on the film and you see those lines coming through, that's called what film damage is. Or if there are any hair particles or dust particles, that's what film damage is, and it's going to give that fizziness to it. And coming down to film breathe, what film breathe is, that's the sudden change in the exposure and the color while the film is running, the up and down of the film, that's called film breathe. So if you want to include, you can do that, but I'm not going to touch that way. Now gate weave is something that is once the reel is moving, so reel kind of gets a shaky feel to it. So the reel moves from side to side, the actual reel, so it gives that shaky feel to your clip, and that's what gate weave is. Vignetting, you already know what vignetting is. It kind of, let me come zoom out and show you. I'm gonna vignette a little bit on the side and just not touch anything, and voila, that's about it. So as you just saw, within under 10 minutes I was able to color grade this video. So just went from the log footage, this to this, within under 10 minutes. So now as you see, these shots are pretty much basic and there is no movement apart from the actor and us moving in the picture. So it kind of becomes little boring. Now here's something that you can always put in when you're taking shots in the tripod is try to put in some transition, or if not transition, try to put in some zoom in effect, either a zoom out or a zoom in, and probably pointing out something, you know, that will make it look there is some movement happening, and you know, it shouldn't look like the video was just taken out of tripod. Technically it was, but yeah, to put a little life into your video, if you think about doing minimalistic stuff, this is what you can actually do, and that's what I've already done here, and it has given that little cinematic look to it, even though it was taken out from the tripod. And then putting up a color grade LUT if you have, or else I used Dehancer to color grade this whole footage. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Dehancer, but yes, if you want to use this tool, you do get a 10% discount if you use my coupon code. It will be mentioned in the description for you guys. And I have made other videos as well talking about how this plugin has eased out my process of color grading under 10 minutes. Technically speaking, yes, there is a video. You can check it out in the description or somewhere over here. I'll link it up. And then if you like this video, do hit that subscribe button and share it with all your friends, and I'll see you in the next one.